Get ready, this is gonna be a long one. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another book video, but this one is going to be a book haul involving books that I've gotten in the last couple months, whether it be I bought them, I thrifted them, I was gifted them, any of those options. If they are new books to me over the last couple months, they're going to be in this video. And there's a lot of them. This isn't even a whole stack. There's still, like, below this book right here, there's still 1, 2, 3, 4 books underneath where you can see right there. It's a pretty decent sized stack. They also include a lot of different genres like dystopian, there's smut, there's splatterpunk, there's thriller, there's a lot of different kinds in this stack. We're gonna start off with the biggest boy. I think he's the biggest boy. He is the biggest boy, the Mindfuck series. Now, this is 5 books in one, so it's actually not that bad if you think about it, since it's 5 books in this whole thing. These books are about this girl who is a murderer, but for a reason, and she starts dating the detective that is actually investigating the murders that she's committing. They are so good. I loved them a lot, and I highly recommend this. Now, for this book, this series, you can only buy them physically in this. They do not come separately. However, they are on Kindle Unlimited separately if you want to read it that way. This book is called Blue Bloods. This is the first book in a series, and it takes place in 1620 on the Mayflower. Yes, that Mayflower. Some of the pilgrims on the Mayflower aren't even human. They are vampires, or also known as Blue Bloods. Skylar Van Allen turns 15 when she discovers a bunch of blue veins appearing on her arms, and she starts craving raw food. She also starts having flashbacks of ancient times. Skylar wants to figure out the secrets of the Blue Bloods, but is she in danger herself? This series is 7 books. 7 books with 2 novellas. I can only commit to the first one right now. This next book is called The Raft, written by S.A. Bodine. I think I'm saying that right. A girl is taking a flight from Honolulu to a group of Pacific islands where her parents live. She's the only passenger on the plane, by the way, because she knows the pilot. All systems are a go until a hurricane hits and the engines of the plane completely cut off. The next thing she knows is she's in the water on a raft and she has to survive. Written by the same author, we have The Compound. This book is about a family that has lived in an underground compound for 6 years. The world they knew was gone, and they have now become accustomed to the new way of living underground. As problems with their existence begin to threaten their sanctuary, they start to question if life would actually be better outside of the compound. I believe there's a second book to The Compound, but don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. The next book is The Kill Order. It is one of the books in the Maze Runner series. I've never read them, so I'm starting to collect them from thrift stores as I see them. I don't know exactly which book this is in the series, so let me know if you know, but so far I do have this one and then the first book, The Maze Runner, and I believe I need 3 more. This Is Where It Ends is a very difficult book to read. I have read this one actually, and I ended up giving my copy of it to someone else, but I want it for my collection, so I was very happy when I found it at the thrift store and I grabbed it. It is about a school shooting. It follows the kids' experience during this tragic event, how they handled it, what they did. If you decide to read this, please be kind to yourself and take breaks as needed. Sanctum by Madeleine Rowe is the next one. This is actually a sequel to the book Asylum. And the real cool thing about this one and the first book, Asylum, is that it includes real found photographs. So the first one, Asylum, included real found photographs from asylums and mental institutions. This one includes real found photographs from carnivals, like vintage carnivals. For example, I love it, it's so cool. In this book, 3 teens must unlock some long-buried secrets from the past before it comes to get them first. The first book, Asylum, was a little slow for me, but since I did see that one at the thrift store, I wanted to give the second one a go. It does circle around the same people as the first one, by the way. The next book is another book that I have read, but I wanted it for my collection. This book is called No One Rides for Free by Judith Sonnet. This book is an extreme horror, body horror, gory, splatterpunk book. Read trigger warnings before going into this. There's actually 2 warning pages in this book, so make sure you read them and take them seriously. Jody was driving her children to college when the man gets in their car. With him, he has a pew-pew, a knife, and toys. And yes, I mean those toys. What starts as a forced ride into the desert escalates into a disturbing series of crime and assault. This book is gross, it's awful, it's vile, it's disturbing and disgusting, and it made me ill. So please, only read these if you are ready to and can handle it. Sticking with the splatterpunk theme, we have Dead Inside. This one is by Chandler Morrison. This is one I have not read yet either. This book is described as disturbingly erotic, with taboos, it says dark exploration of nature, individuality, common decency, and a bunch of other messed up things. A young hospital security guard with a disturbingly unique taste in women, and a maternity doctor with a disturbingly unusual appetite meet for the first time. They go on a journey of self-discovery with a bunch of taboo things. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm pretty nervous to read this one because it's supposed to be really disturbing. And again, check trigger warnings. Now we have Merfolk by Jeremy Bates. This is in the World's Scariest Legends by Jeremy Bates. A cave diving expedition goes horribly wrong for a marine biologist and his fellow divers. They become hunted by a deadly breed of predators that they thought were just myths or legends, which by the title we can only guess are mermaids, merfolk. We're almost done. We're like halfway, maybe a little bit more than halfway. This is Fantastic Land. A hurricane hits and destroys the coast of Florida, isolating a part called Fantastic Land. 5 weeks later, photos emerge of people's heads on spikes in the park. Authorities set out to figure out the weird series of events that they are seeing happen at Fantastic Land. The teenage employees are cut off from the world completely. The teens soon form rival tribes, having to compete for food, medication, social dominance, and even human flesh. Fantastic Land is a modern take on the Lord of the Flies book, which I am absolutely here for because I love that book. I love the cover of this one. This is Stolen Tongues by Felix Blackwell. A romantic getaway doesn't go exactly as planned for Faye and Felix. They are there to celebrate their engagement, but soon, ghastly ghost noises begin to come up nearby. Screams of animals, cries of children, a bunch of different voices from people. A dark figure looms in the window nearby and speaks to Faye in the middle of the night. And as the weather turns deadly, Felix discovers that Faye is not just mumbling in her sleep, but possibly talking back. As the weather turns deadly, Felix soon discovers that Faye isn't just mumbling in her sleep, she might be talking back to the noises that they are hearing in the night. I did also just realize that sometimes I am telling you who the author is and sometimes I'm not, and I apologize for that. I'm still trying to get back in the groove of everything. This next book is a part of the Hunger Games series that we all know and love. It is called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and it is actually President Snow's story. With the movie coming out soon, I'm so excited to read it. I am completely obsessed with the cover of this book. And I'm probably gonna butcher the title of it, but I believe it's Rhapsodic? I don't know. Kelly has been wearing a bracelet of black beads up her wrist. These beads are magical IOUs from favors that she has asked from the bargainer. Only death or repayment fulfills her obligation to the bargainer for these IOUs for the favors. And everyone knows that if you need a favor, you go to the bargainer. And sooner or later, he always comes to collect. But he hasn't with Kelly just yet. but he's never asked Callie for a payment. Until now. This book is by the same author, and it's called Bewitched. I know I suck at this. The author is Laura Thalassa. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Celine Bowers desperately hopes to get accepted into a coven, the Henbane Coven, which is an academy for young witches. One of the requirements for entry is to tap into your powers via a special way. Since one of the requirements for entry is to tap into your powers via a special trip, so she books it to South America. When a supernatural force tries to pull her plane from the sky, her powers awaken and saves her life. But there is a cost. Using her powers actually strips her memories one by one. Celine braves the jungle in South America and awakens an ancient evil named Menmon. She must then rely on Menmon for help. We're almost there. This Delicious Death by Kayla Cottingham. The opening sentence for this description is 4 best friends, 1 music festival, and a cooler filled with human organs. This says that if you're a Jennifer's Body fan, then you're gonna love this book. If you know the book Tender is the Flesh, this book is kind of related to that one, where humans have to start eating human flesh. But it sounds like in this book, the people start actually going crazy. And there's something called the Hollowing. I don't even know, but I'm excited to find out. An unknown pathogen was released into the hemisphere, causing a small percentage of people to go through this transformation they call the Hollowing. Those impacted by the Hollowing slowly became intolerant to human food. They ended up having to eat human flesh. Those that are affected and went without flesh start to become feral. During this festival that the characters are at, one of the friends in the group ends up going feral and killing a boy. As the night goes on, they soon realize that people are disappearing and someone is drugging them and making them go feral. If they can't figure out how to stop it, then everyone is in danger. This book is called Bunny by Noah Awad. This book follows the story of Samantha getting an invitation from girls who called themselves bunnies. As Samantha dives deeper into the sinister world of the bunnies, she discovers that they take part in some ritualistic off-campus events or workshop where they conjure monstrous creatures. Will her friendship with her best friend Ava or her friendship with the bunnies come to a deadly collision? Y'all, we made it. This is the last one. This is the last book in the stack, and we did it. This book is called That's Not What Happened by Cody Keplinger. This is another school shooting book, so again, take breaks if you need to. Be very careful going into it and be kind to yourself. It's been 3 years since Sarah's best friend was killed in the bathroom during a school shooting. The main character has to decide whether they keep the guilt of staying silent or they reap the consequences of the truth of what actually happened. I've heard that this is a really tough book to get through, so just be mindful. Oh my gosh, we did it. I feel like my brain became mush halfway through, so I apologize if some of that didn't make sense. Words just kind of crumbled together at that point. If you made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. Comment a book emoji so I know that you did. I feel like I should make more of these videos, but in shorter time spans, so that way our stack isn't so large and it's easier to get through, because this is a long video. But thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I severely appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.